Hey folks, man, this is Monk, aka Cory, and this is the From the Canopy Film Show. And I'm joined as always with Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo, yo.
And we got Cornelius, aka Evil Corny.
Am I on the right show?
Hey man, we always change was the name. Everything else remains the same.
Yeah.
See, you got me rapping, man.
I gotta change all my business cards now. Gotta change my Twitter profile and all that stuff. And
Yeah, we gotta restructure. We're in the midst of that, man. But we're still gonna bring you guys the same kind of entertainment that you've grown to love. You know. Let's get into it, man. How you guys doing, dog? First of all,
Doing good.
this is our first show of 2022, right?
no, we recorded last
Wow,
week.
we did one
We did,
before.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
my bad. Well, this is the first
We
show.
recorded like 3 shows.
This is the first show underneath the new moniker.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I'm doing good, man. I think we got another snowstorm coming.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
so
So
that's tonight.
and I think it's gonna start like it's either like early tomorrow or going into the later part of the day. So you know, that's just we're getting used to it now though. Seems like every other day it's damn snowing.
I got an appointment tomorrow for a tattoo. They messing with my money.
Right.
The weather. Let's
I'm
get
all
into
right.
it, man.
I'm okay.
All right, Corny is all right, man. It's also Bobby Blockbuster's post birthday. So happy birthday to him.
Happy 60th birthday, Bobby.
Thank you. Feeling great at 60.
All right, so the only news I got today is it's a two-parter, man. First of all, Black Panther has resumed film production. You know, we had the issue with Letitia Wright's injury and they had to stall, but I've got an update to that story, man. So now it's been reported that the set has been shut down again, dude. And this is crazy, bro. Like, you know, I want this film to come out so bad. It seems like everything is in its way right now. So they started shooting again, but now Wakanda Forever's filming is reportedly being delayed again due to a surge in the Omicron COVID variant on the Atlanta set. Filming is reportedly being delayed again due to a surge in the Omicron variant. And this is the sequel to the 2018 Black Panther, and it's long overdue, bro. We going on like 4 years now, man. And this is kind of devastating to me right now, man. I might need a minute.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like it's been that long because we had, I don't know.
I mean, we got so many films in between to keep our mind off of what happened in this, and also put it this way: I think the fact that we had Black Panther showing up in, you know, what was it, Infinity War and Endgame, you know, so we got doses of him, so that kind of,
kind of gearing us towards
fed our appetite a little bit.
Let's just look at like Doctor Strange. He was just in his own movie, but he showed up in the MCU. Like there's been several movies that he showed up in, you know, just playing as part of Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
showed up in Thor. What's that? Ragnarok. Then he showed up in the 2 Infinity War movies, and then Spider-Man. It's I don't know. It's
so some of those characters, it doesn't feel like so long since we last saw them because we did see them since those films. But still, at the same time, I want some more Black Panther, and most importantly, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the story now that Chadwick Boseman isn't there. You know, how are they going to weave this around? How is this new narrative going to play out now? And but now, I just hope they get this thing done. I mean, first of all, I hope nobody dies. A little bit, but really. I mean, would I be a dick if I was really more concerned about the fate of this movie right now?
The fate of the people. Oh man,
I think I would. I mean, but hey, I can't front, man. I gotta be genuine on here. But I think hopefully they'll work this out, man. Because the thing about the Omicron, it seems like it is a bit milder for the people who do get it, but there are people who are still dying from this thing. If you are, have, pre-existing health conditions, and you are, you don't know how it's going to hit you, man. So I'm still seeing stories of people that are otherwise young, perfectly healthy, fall into this disease. But it's a testament to the times we're living in, man. So, and these things have already been set in stone, but release dates wise, but there's a chance that things could be pushed back, based on Omicron and these other Transformers.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm about to do some heavy editing on this one. I think my bears is kicking in. But let me pass this over to Bob, man, because let's see what we got for this trailer, man.
These trailers. Yeah. All right, so the first one is a film called X, like the letter X, and it takes place in 1979. There are some young filmmakers that set out to make an adult film in rural Texas, but when their reclusive elderly hosts catch them in the act, the cast members find themselves in a fight for their lives. So, and this one is going to be dropping for us March 18th, 2022. It's directed by Ty West. And as far as the cast goes, you get Jenna Ortega, Mia Goth, Brittany Snow, Kid Cudi's in there, and Martin Henderson. Those were the names that kind of
Kid Cudi's in everything now.
I know he is. That's why when I was looking at the cast, I was like, this too, huh? I don't know.
Him and his tiny shoulders.
Yeah. And it's funny because when you look at it really looks like it gives you those Texas Chainsaw vibes a little bit.
That's what I kind of picked up on. It looks like Texas Chainsaw. I guess it's set in that same year, isn't it? Or those Texas Chainsaw was like 70s, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think it was 73. I think Chainsaw was 73. But yeah, man, I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to this one, but I'm interested by it. I'm definitely going to check it out, and I think that, it'll be worth a viewing, unless we hear otherwise. The next one I got is an IFC film called Hatching. And this one, on the other hand, it looks like it's just going to be a wild ride from start to finish. It revolves around a young gymnast who tries desperately to please her demanding, overbearing mother. And when she's out in the woods, she discovers a strange egg, and she takes it home. It was like a wounded bird, strange egg. She takes the egg home and cares for it in a sense where she puts it in her bed, snuggles it up, makes it feel like it's in a nest, keeps it warm and everything. And the egg progressively gets bigger as the trailer goes on, to the point where we get the impression that something hatches. And at the same time, while this egg is hatching and we get whatever is inside the egg, she seemingly is different as well. Like, I don't know if it's like possession. She looks different. Her mannerisms are different, and it seems like it's gonna, kind of take a turn for the worse once this whatever's in this egg hatches. But it's wild just because, like, conceptually, I mean, when you see like the still film or the still picture before you click the trailer, it's just this big egg. It doesn't really, you don't know what you're going to get. And the fact that they're taking this, down this horror path, I think it could make for, a pretty interesting film.
What do you think is in the egg?
Like a big dinosaur creature bird.
I think it's a person.
Think it's a person?
I think it's an accountant.
It's never like you never find anything like that and it end up being like a giant Cadbury egg. You know what I'm saying? That would be a mess. A big chocolate egg like that would be kind of a mess to like clean up, but that would be pretty good.
What if it's like nougat and
I'm not big on nougat.
Right?
Caramel.
Oh wow! But what if it's hard boiled?
That would stink up a house.
You see the size of that egg? I don't know if you could have a vat big enough to boil that. You do have to be like industrial level.
You have egg salad for months.
Nah,
that big would just stink up a house. And I don't think about me. I don't do eggs at all. That would stink up a house.
But yeah, so for those interested, such as
a million
myself,
parts.
This film's gonna be dropping for us April 29th, 2022. It's directed by Hannah Bergholm, and as far as the cast, it says here Siri Selena, Jenna Volahan, and Sophia Haikenua. Sorry for the name pronunciations. Also, I want to say I think this film could be subtitled. I don't know where its originated from. But just brace yourself for that in case you can't get a dubbed version.
It's like they was in Florida or LA.
No,
it's
seen the palm trees in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, we might get it dubbed. Like I say, they might dub it up, but I want to say that the trailer was coming in subtitled. I could be mixing it up with something else that I watched.
It was subtitled, but I couldn't. I still couldn't find a country whenever I looked.
Okay. But yeah.
Oh, it's Finland, Sweden. That's what it's from.
Okay.
Finland, Sweden.
Yeah, Finland/Sweden. I guess
so those just be mindful. You know, you might have to read it while you watch it. That doesn't deter me, but I got to be in the right mood to read and watch at the same time. So just keep that in mind. The next film that I got is a film called Kimmy, and this one's going to drop for us on HBO Max. And it follows an agoraphobic tech worker that discovers recorded evidence of a violent crime, but she's met with resistance when she tries to do the right thing and bring it to the proper authorities. And so it says that she starts seeking justice. She must now do the thing that she fears most, which is leave her apartment. That's what we get from the synopsis. But, you know, just briefly, it seemed this film kind of reminded me of The Net, but you get this feeling where she has constant interaction with what looks like an Alexa, and it starts to seem like the Alexa is more than just. Oh man, I just turned on yours. Oh wow, that's trippy, dude. I was like, oh no. But
Alexa say, Bobby, what the fuck do you want?
Alexa, stop.
Oh man, we can't write this stuff up. I did not do that on purpose. So, but nevertheless, you have that element going on, and it seems like, you know, she's being unwillingly or unlawfully recorded, and this thing is kind of messing with her and kind of helping create whatever evidence that she has, either harder to give to the proper authorities. Like I said, it just reminded me of that Sandra Bullock film, The Net, but looks really intense. And it stars a lead role as Zoe Kravitz, which, you know what I'm saying, I've seen a few different movies with her in it, and I appreciated all of them. And she's going to be the new Catwoman, so I think that's pretty cool. Looks like a cool role for her. And we also
get a Steven Soderbergh film, right?
Yes, it is Steven Soderbergh. It's going to drop February 10th. And as far as also with the cast, we get a Robin Givens sighting. I haven't seen her in a film in quite a while. Erica Christensen. We get Devin Ratray, Jacob Vargas, who I also like movies that he's in. You'll recognize his face once you see him. And then also we get Rita Wilson. So that's definitely one that I'm going to be looking out for. And like I said, it's going to be given to us on HBO Max on February 10th. So we don't even got to leave the house to watch it. So there's that with that. And this one, my last film, part of it seems interesting, but I just kind of like saying the name of it. It's a Netflix documentary called The Tinder Swindler. And pretty much it revolves around, and like I said, this is true story documentary. And it surrounds a group of women that were victims of a man posing as a wealthy jet-setting diamond Mongol. And he pretty much woos the women on a well-known online dating app. And then once he connects with them, he pretty much cons them out of millions of dollars and or other things as well. But he was in it for the money. Pretty much what we gather from the trailer. And then some of these victims plan to pay him back. So this is based on a true story. I was looking into the actual story of the man, and it's interesting to see what I read, like how things kind of transpired. But I think this is just going to give a little more of an in-depth look into the whole situation, and also kind of give us more of the victim's perspective. Whereas, just knowing that this dude was pretty much, pulling the wool over people's eyes on the dating app and just pretty much
ultimate
portraying
catfishing.
Yeah, pretty much portraying himself as someone and something he's not, which happens all too often on those kind of things. I've heard a lot of stories. I don't want to retell any of them though, because this is not that kind of show.
I'm completely ignored on any dating site. I'm just telling you all that.
Yeah, it's not the thing. And also, just while it's on my mind, we're talking about Netflix. I'm not going to get into the trailer, but I want people to be aware and looking out for on February 18th. They are dropping Netflix's version. It's a rebooted sequel of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It pretty much just picks up right after the original. That's what it's saying. So it's 50 years later from the original. So it's kind of
that's not right after.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's supposed to. I guess let me reword it. It's supposed to be a direct sequel. A direct sequel, man. 50 years after.
I think I'm gonna pass, bro. Yeah, like the thing with that franchise is like, what more can they do with it? Like it's and the thing is, even the previous versions. All right, I did give was that Michael Bay? Or did he produce that one?
The first remake. I really like that one.
And I think that was good, but then like the rest of it is like I feel like that story is pretty good as a one and done.
Yes,
like leave it as it is. You get exposed to this stuff, and your brain does a better job of imagining what happens or what's than the sequels have done. So it's like
that's on
the same story anyway.
And the knockoffs also, because like House of a Thousand Corpses, I don't really have any love for that film.
But Devil's Rejects is awesome.
Yeah, I had never seen Devil's Rejects, but
oh man, you're
House of a Thousand Corpses, all it is Texas Chainsaw for me. It doesn't.
Rejects is worth a watch, dude. I liked it way better than Three from Hell. Yeah. Like, to be honest, man, like
it's the best one in the trifecta or in the trilogy, whatever you want. Yeah, it is a standalone film, even though it is technically a sequel, and it's one you can watch. You can never see House of a Thousand Corpses and still fully enjoy everything that Devil's Rejects has to offer. But
other one of his films that I actually like is Lords of Salem.
Ooh, that was a dark film.
Yeah, I know that's my favorite film that he's done. Everything else is like repeated, Or
I like 31. 31 was like a horror version of The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That one was pretty wild. It was pretty wild.
I never felt the need to watch it. I might check it out since you said.
Yeah, it's a wild watch. But yeah, so to those interested, February 18th, if you got Netflix, they are doing their version of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel.
All right, well, let's get to these reviews, man. This week is a skip week for me. I got one thing that I'll mention, and it was a great one, though. I will say that. So I did go and see the film Belle, and what stood out to me was the fact that it was anime in theaters. So that's my new twist, man. If I see anime come up on the schedule, I'm going to take an effort to see it, even if I don't know anything about it. But this Belle is a standalone film. It's not, related to any series or anything like that. But the synopsis is a high school student becomes a globally beloved singer after entering a fantastic virtual world. She soon embarks on an emotional and epic quest to uncover the identity of a mysterious beast who's on the run from ruthless vigilantes. So there's so many things that are charming about this film. I didn't even watch the trailer before I went to go see this. I just saw maybe a couple of still shots, and I knew that it was loosely based on Beauty and the Beast story. But first of all, it's directed by Mamoru Hosoda. And the theater I went to see it in, they were showing a dubbed version and the subtitle version. I ended up seeing the subtitle because of scheduling, but I will say this, it's beautiful. Like the first thing that hits you, the visual aspects of this thing are just amazing. It's just like, I haven't seen this style of anime before. I've seen a lot of anime styles, but like there's two different things at play. There's a regular world with, regular walking and talking people. She's a high schooler. But then when they go into that virtual world, I think the level gets turned up to 10 with the animation. Just the things that are presented to you. And the story itself is pretty cool, man. It's got a lot of, it's really an emotional story that keeps you going. You know, that you could probably nitpick about, you know, some of the cheesiness and some of the, you know, conclusions, but overall I think, you know, just the way this thing is presented, I overlook that because what I'm getting on the screen is just, it's amazing. It's things I haven't seen before, and it gives you ideas and themes, and there's a mystery going on. So pretty much our main character is a high school girl, but she's a misfit. She's trying to find her way. She's not one of the popular kids, and pretty much in this world, there's an app that everyone's on, pretty much their Facebook. And once you go into this thing, you have to create your own character. You create a name, but the game uses your bio data to create how you're going to look in this world. And for some reason, she just comes out like as a beautiful person. But not only that, she's a singer, and her singing is beautiful. Like in the real world, she for some reason she can't bring herself to sing, you know, but in this world, being anonymous and hiding behind this character, she sings, and all of a sudden she becomes like the most popular person in this world. But at the same time, there's this rogue character that pops up in this world, kind of like and we don't know who he is, but all I know is that the authorities in this world, they're trying to take this thing out, and he's a beastly character. He doesn't look like any other characters. All the other characters seem to be fun, but this guy comes in looking like a beast.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and eventually she ends up, kind of, being drawn to this character, and then the task is, who are you? Why are you? What are you like this? And I think that mystery unfolds in a really unique way that I didn't see coming. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where everyone's in the movie, they're trying to figure out, who is this guy? Who's the real life version of this guy? There's this artist that they bring up that has similar characteristics, and it's like, nah, that's not him. There's another guy, that's not him. But the way it unfolds was really unique, and I thought it was really dope, man. But I will say, man, if it's playing near you, go and see it, because it did get a pretty wide release. It wasn't like a Fathom event. This was one that when I went to click on the app, it actually took my Regal pass. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a Fathom event or anything. It was a real anime film that got a wide release in a lot of theaters, and I think it's really worth it, man. It was a really fun time, and just to be transported in a world, and I think what stands out to me most with things like this, it's not the story that they're telling, it's the way they're telling it. Like this anime format, it just does some really dope stuff, and I wish we would embrace it more. Like I'm still waiting for that Goodfellas told with anime, or so many other genres you could tackle, but just animated, man. And what's dope about it is, like, your budget, as limited as it may be or whatever, you could draw anything. You know what I'm saying?
And
it's not like
the boundaries a little more too.
It's not like you gotta send it to Industrial Light and Magic or shoot all this blue screen. You could draw anything, man. And it's definitely, a highlight of this year so far for me, man. This thing will probably win animated awards, later on this year, if it doesn't get forgotten, because it set a really good standard and told a really great story, and I had a fun time, checking it out. Definitely go see Belle.
Good shit.
Yeah, it's dope. All right, who's next, man?
Go ahead, Bob.
You want me to go? All right, so man, I keep feeling like I'm promoting Netflix right now. The last three things I brought up, Netflix related. But nevertheless, my first film is a Netflix film, and it's an Indonesian film, and it's called Photocopier, and they just dropped it. Well, that's the thing. What drew me to this is it had an initial release of October 8th, 2021. And, as I caught the trailer for this one a little while back, and like it had all these awards going on and everything. So I was kind of drawn into that, and Netflix dropped it on January 13th. And it revolves around this young woman, and she loses her scholarship. She's a young college student, and she loses her scholarship after a party that she went to. After that party, some pictures, inappropriate pictures, start to surface and swirl around the internet, and the powers that be end up catching wind of these photos, And, you know, because of that, she ends up losing her scholarship, and she's kind of like shunned. Her father is very upset, understandably so. But she's kind of like shunned by her family and by her peers, in a sense. And, you know, as it continues on, she ends up going to, there's like a local photocopy shop, and she gets the guy that works there to kind of help her figure out what exactly happened and who took these photos of her. And, you know, with that being said, this film with this style of the concept, it could be considered, you know, a little oversaturated. We get a lot of films like with this subject matter, but what separated this one for me was, you know, first and foremost, the acting. It was acted great. You know, everybody in the cast that had screen time, you could tell they were giving it their all and then some. So that you know, out the gate I appreciated that. But then with this concept, the approach that they took, they found a way to take something that, you know, I've seen quite a few films where, you know, something happens to a young lady they don't remember, and then they gotta kind of, you know, and most of the time they're really they're unappealing, you know, because when you get into the story and what happens, it's like, damn, man, you know, it's really messed up, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of like, it just hits a little hard. So with this one, not to say that it didn't take that approach, it just did it in its own lane. So I thought that was really cool that they took, you know, an original approach with that. And also, I haven't seen too many films from Indonesia. So for me, you know, just that aspect alone, I was also very, you know, impressed with, you know, just everything that I saw. And, you know, when you do watch the film, you also just kind of see, you know, the differences within culture and things like that, because of when you see these photos and the reaction of the community, it's different. And it's because it's a different country, different, you know, cultural beliefs and things of that nature. And I thought that was, I mean, even though it was messed up, it was cool to see that, you know, firsthand on this film, and how impactful it was to the storytelling and the buildup of this film. And also, I do like the tension. It kept my interest from beginning to end, and it got really tense at times, because you're just seeing, you know, everything as it's unfolding and transpiring. It was really cool the way that they delivered this story, and with the tense nature. And, you know, to bring this all closing, it all comes full circle, man. I was definitely I was satisfied once the ending of the film came. It all made sense. There were no like loopholes that I got pulled through, no reasons to have to go back like, oh man, they're double dipping, or they're making this and that not make sense. It was very, you know, cut dry, straight to the point, and executed very, very well. And for that, like, I would highly recommend. I don't know if I would go back to this one just because of the you know, the story that's being told, but that doesn't take away from the film. It's a highly recommended, you know, one-time viewing for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm very, very happy that I saw it. And I suggest anyone with Netflix give it a chance.
All right. That's what's up. What do you got, Cornelius?
Really, the only film I have for this week is Scream, 2022 Scream. It's basically Ghostface is back in Woodsboro. City Prescott is drawn back to the town. This one is directed by Ben Benatelli, Open, and Tyler Gillett. These were two guys that wrote and directed Ready or Not. In this film, you have a lot of legacy, I guess, characters. Let me think of the main character name. Jamie Killen's character in there was,
forgot his character, but yeah, B-Rad.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
He was the one who worked at the movie store, right?
Yeah. I cannot think of his character's name right now. Oh, Randy. Okay. In its film, Randy has a niece and nephew that are twins. That one of them is more or less a jock. The other one is basically a female version of Randy. But you have other legacy type characters in it. They update, they brought, without spoiling anything on this film at all. Some of the stuff, like I said, with legacy characters, they made it a little bit interesting that, this thing with Ghostface is going to happen this is like 25 years after the original. Somebody's just want to take that mantle just for popularity. Stab films come into play in this. And basically, how do I want to say this? The stab films are the films that's inside the Scream movie. Those come into play, and the people behind it are pretty much going off that popularity of stab films. And like I said, overall, I thought it was like a fun, updated film. And they make a point of telling you it's a threequel or whatever, or a legacy type movie. But I overall had a lot of fun with this.
So you think they brought justice to the franchise then? Because I know
I really didn't care for that fourth Scream.
That's what I was just about to say.
It's still a watchable film, but this one's kind of bringing it back.
Okay.
You get to introduce to some, like I said, legacy type characters.
I mean, for me, I don't think I was interested when this thing was announced. Like, I don't really get much further past Scream 1. I thought it was okay. I'm not the biggest fan of the series, so I knew that it would be something that you guys would be talking about. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me when it came out.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Like I said, I like Ghostface. I think that was a cool, character. But one of the things that's always kind of just like, with me with Scream is like, there's such a shock value with the story that once you see it once, it's like it doesn't really hit the same again. You know what I mean? Like once you know who the killers are and what's happening, it kind of just hits for me differently. Like I enjoy watching that film now with people who've never seen it, just so I can see how they take it. And this is not taking nothing away from the film as a whole, but it's just like, you see it
really enough when it's still really enough when it's still a whodunit, because you really don't know who it is and their motives until the very end of the film. So I pretty much think that they did what they were doing in the other films, where they were not letting the actual people that were, or the person that was a killer, know they were the killer until everything was probably in post-production. Yeah, it was a fun film.
Yet again, like I said, I'm not getting no residuals for this, but it just all the films I saw that were worth a watch were on Netflix this week, minus the last one we'll talk about. But this is another Netflix film, and it's called The House, and it dropped on January 14th. And what pulled me in about this one, first and foremost, it's an animation film, but it's a stop motion animation film. It's an adult. They have it listed as an adult dark comedy. What I'll say is this: it always makes me laugh after the fact when a movie is spoken of or being told to us as it being a dark comedy, and there's not a lot of comedic moments in it. Dark, yes, this was that. Funny, not so much. So and maybe
that's
and
I have
what
a dark comedy is. It's pretty much
I see. Yeah, when I hear dark comedy, I think it's like those that have that more obscure sense of humor. They'll find something funny that
Pulp Fiction is darkly humorous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a dark comedy. That's just
yeah. So like I don't know. Maybe
dark. What they consider a dark comedy is like About Smith. If you ever seen that film with Jack Nicholson in it,
no.
Right. So yeah, see from
or the movie Election. That's a dark comedy.
Legend.
The Election.
Oh, The Election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Election with Reese Witherspoon. That's a dark comedy.
Yeah, see, like for me, when I hear comedy, I'm thinking there's going to be some kind of laughable moments. It's just going to be more geared toward those that have that more obscure sense of humor. But then again, I could have been, completely just misinterpreting the definition as a whole. So with that being said, this one it's an adult stop motion dark comedy, and it's wild because when you look at it, there are some that are saying that this is a Netflix series, but the way it was delivered to me and what I was reading, it's being described as an anthology film. Like you do not, there is 3 stories, but you don't have to go into 3 separate, links or whatever on Netflix to watch these 3 stories. They play, simultaneously in the same, span of the film. It's a 97-minute film, but it's wild because like, it surrounds 3 different stories at 3 different time frames with 3 completely different individuals, main characters, but the one thing that they all have in common is it all leads back to this one house, you know what I mean? And so that's the unifier of the film, that kind of puts it in that anthology bracket. And I'm not going to go and describe each one of these stories. I feel like, just, do yourself a solid and watch it. What I will say is that it is very, very like visually appealing because it's stop motion, but it doesn't look like clay.
It's got like a Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Vibe. Like they almost look like spun yarn or something. It was funny to me because the in the first story, the people, they kind of look like thumbs with faces wearing clothes. So I thought that was really funny because the way that they look, it's really, really funny. But not to say that the story was, it's definitely each one of these stories, they were very, very well told and intense. You know what I mean? Like they carry this certain like vibe through them where it's like you just patiently waiting to see where it's going to go, what's going to happen next, and then how shocking is it going to be? Like this is definitely not an animation film to watch with a young child. I would definitely put it at maybe 12, 13 or above. Especially with the first story, it carries a certain level of darkness to it that is just like, wow, you know what I mean? And and respectfully, all of the stories are very intriguing and interesting in their own right. But the first one is just like, they felt like the most like it carried a more realistic character base and atmosphere and tone with it. But like I said, I like the look of it, and I like the feel, the cast. It has a long cast list. Not too many people that really were recognizable to me. It's just their voice talents and stuff. But they all did a great job, and it was directed by it was a tag team. The first individual was Emma D. Swaif and Mark James. So I highly recommend this one. I think that I'm going to keep it in consideration for at least notable mention for best film of 2022, or my list, not the best film, but just definitely getting some form of recognition just because of the look of it alone was very, very intriguing and appealing, and everything else that it brought to the table was they did a good job. I mean, it's been a long time since I saw an anthology film that I actually wanted to bring up that was worthwhile.
What's wild though? I did start watching this, and I gotta finish it, but I put it on late. But I will say this, man, that first story, dude, they were killing me with the atmosphere.
Yes.
It was crazy that this thing, how it looks, the stop motion style. Like I said, it looks like Fantastic Mr. Fox, but to have that creepiness that they were able to put into this thing, man, that was really impressive. So
yes,
you reminded me too, because I forgot that I had started watching it, dude. I've been busy, man, looking at damn computer monitors and this editing, these last few days. But yeah, I want to go back and finish it.
And this one, I mean, it pulls you right in by the collar, dude. It just pulls you right on in there, man. And
it came out of nowhere. I just turned on Netflix one day and it was just sitting there. I was like,
what's the name of this again?
It's called The House.
The House.
Yeah. And yeah, it's on Netflix. So, but yeah, it's definitely I highly recommend it. You know what I'm saying? I actually want to watch it a few more times because I feel like I might have missed a couple little things that I'll still find appreciation in, you know, in a rewatch. So there's that one with that one. And you got any more, Corny? Or
no, I'm good.
No, all touched out. I think you did see this one as well, though. But it's an older film. I stumbled on it on Shudder. It came out in 2017. I don't know how this one missed my radar because this was so cool.
I blame myself on this one because I've seen it so many times popping up on, and I should have watched it by now because it did get good reviews. But I know we talked earlier. I know what you're about to.
Yeah. And it's wild because I saw the trailer for this. I got this other movie out of the dollar store. It wasn't good. But yeah, I guess it's the same distributing company or something like that. Before, or maybe I don't know when Shudder picked it up because that's where I streamed it. But I saw this trailer last week watching this bunk movie, and I was like, whoa, man, I gotta track this down. And fortunately for me, the movie gods presented me with it on Shudder, so that was amazing. Mm-hmm. But it's a film called Meyhem, and it's directed by John Lynch. And pretty much it revolves around this dude. He's an up and coming young lawyer, and he's at this firm, and you know he kind of, you know, he's having a little bit of a rough day. He goes into work, finds out that you know, due to some you know, unforeseen situations, you know, he potentially could be getting canned, and at the same time it's brought to the light that there's this virus swirling around the world, which, you know, we are all kind of used to that now. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's this virus that's going on that pretty much intensifies all of your your worst inhibitions, like as if you don't have a moral compass. Like it increases your depressive state, your anger, your impulsiveness, your lust, you know, things like that. And then, you know, you don't have the wherewithal to not act on these impulses, you know. And it's like from what they say, it's like little things will even intensify more, like drinking coffee or sugar or things like that, things that you'll find in an office building. And so what ends up happening is you know, on his way out from leaving the building, they find out that the virus has been detected in this office building and is now put under quarantine. And you know, the film just kind of goes from there. And it like I said, for me, this one was very highly entertaining. You know what I'm saying? I thought that it was just, I mean, it covered all of its bases as far as, you know, the story that they were telling and the way that they were going about it. Like it reminded me definitely of like the Belko Experiment, but or even like a mix between like Office Space and, you know, I don't want to say 28 Days Later, but that one would kind of be like a good feel to it. But this doesn't revolve. It reminded
me of 28 Days Later, The Raid, and like you said, Office Space.
In Office Space, yeah.
I had fun. I had fun watching this one.
A lot of fun, right? And I mean, and this one, I mean, it is gory. It is. It does have like this brutality element, you know, when you see people kind of doing this, that, or whatever. But it also has a lot of comedic value. Like, see, to me, this would be a film that if somebody said this was a dark comedy, this is what I would think that they were talking about. But neither here nor there. Like I said, it pulls you by the throat right out the beginning. It starts off great, really sets the tone and just keeps it there. Like this is not like there's no build up. It's just kind of like it's you start off at the top of the mountain and then you just kind of, you know, get thrown off of it, you know, and that's in the best way possible, you know. It just the way that the characters present themselves and everything that's going on, it was just all in all 100% to me entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Like I liked it so much that even though I have it on Shudder, I still went and tracked it down and bought a physical copy of it just because this is a film that I feel deserves to be in my collection. And as far as the director, it was directed by Joe Lynch, and as the cast we get Stephen Yuen, from the Walking Dead.
Mhm.
Yes, and we get Samara Weaving. We also get Dallas Roberts, Stephen Brand, and what's her name, Caroline Chikensky. And yet again, this is one of those films where you have a lot of memorable characters. Everybody's just going kind of like balls to the wall with the acting and whatever their characters presenting.
Samara Weaving is like slowly becoming like one of my favorite actresses. Like she's actually she's in Ready or Not. That's the main character in that film.
Yes.
And she was in a movie called The Babysitter on Netflix. I saw the first one, but not the second one. But she's a trip, just seeing her on film. And she's also in a film called Guns Akimbo with
yes,
Harry Potter with
Harry Potter.
Yeah, Harry Potter. Yeah, she's actually in that film too. But pretty much majority of the films I think I've seen her in, she's been good in. And by the way, she's like the Weaving's niece, that plays Mr. Smith and Agent Smith and The Matrix. Yeah, that's his niece.
Well, not for nothing. Stephen Wen is definitely our lead role, but for me, Samara Weaving, she stole the show. Like every time she was on screen, she just was. She was just her mannerisms and her actions, the things she was doing and saying was very, very appealing to me. Like there's this part where she just puts her sunglasses on, like she's already like just super, bad A and everything. I just thought, she definitely brought it heavy with this film. So I strongly suggest, this is worth viewing. I think that it's definitely it's a multi-view film. You know what I'm saying? You see it once, probably want to see it again, and if you're around someone who hasn't seen it, you find entertainment watching it with them as well. So Meyhem, check that out.
All right, that's what's up, man. Well, I guess we could wrap this one up, folks, man. This has been another From the Canopy Film Show. Get used to that, because I'm trying to.
It's the first From the Canopy Film Show. It's not like
I hear you, man. Yeah, it's been Cory, aka Monk. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram. Follow the podcast at From Canopy. And you can email us from thecanopypod@gmail.com.
This is Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on Instagram at BobbyBlockbuster118.
This is Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on Twitter at Cornelius1976. And possibly on TikTok, where you can just follow me, and I might make a video at some point. But that's Cornelius 1976. Yeah. Also, this week I was on Talk Without Rhythm podcast, and I was discussing Speed Racer and Battle Angel of Alita, or Alita Battle Angel with El Goro. But that was my Patreon pick with that show. Picks for that show.
That's what's up. We gotta get old Goro on here, man. He be hiding from us. All right, folks, we are out. Peace. Boom. Yeah, that was it, man.